All right, tonight we're actually watching some drier air begin to filter into the region. That cold front that was parked off to the northwest of us finally starting to push through tonight. So the big story for the next couple of days is going to be it's not humid. That's really going to be the story as we go through the next 24 hours, is that drier and cooler air kind of filters into the region from the northwest. It really is a great setup as we get closer to the middle of the week. But your impacts over the next 24 hours, it's all going to be about that drier air filtering into the region. We've got some gorgeous views tonight up at Lake Norman still. That drier air is the story for not only the middle of the week, but the end of the weekend. I'd say no rain completely, but there's a real good chance we'll see no rain at least until the weekend. And if we do, it's going to be really isolated and cooler air with temperatures barely cracking the 80-degree mark by the middle of the week. There's the front. We were showing you this earlier. You could still see it out there, kind of showing up on the radar and satellite. So the dew points, this is a good way to measure where that front is this time of year, because the temperature difference won't be all that dramatic. But when you see dew points in the 60s and you're 70, you're still ahead of the front. But when you start to see 50s and 40s for dew points, you know that drier air is filtering in. So there it is. It pushes through. That's when the not humid air, we'll call it right now. And really, it gets really crisp and cool. With dry air, one of the qualities of dry air, it can radiate the heat at night much more efficiently than humid air, which kind of traps it in at night. So you'll see these temperatures overnight dipping down into the 50s with beautiful conditions. The fireflies are out tonight. You're going to see a lot of those this week. Kind of the perfect weather for them to start coming out here in late May, early June. Temperatures in the morning, you'll wake up to low and mid 60s. Tomorrow we'll rebound back into the mid 80s, but it'll be kind of a dry heat because of that northwest wind and that drier air. Let's show you those dew points really dropping as that dry air filters in. Watch them fall into the 40s by late tomorrow, and as we go into Wednesday, we'll see a lot more 40s and 50s for dew points, even maybe 30s by the middle and end of the week. This is really dry air by late spring and summer standards. Now, because of that dry air and the abundant sunshine, we've got the highest sun angles of the year. You know, we're getting towards the summer solstice here coming up in June. So you're seeing the UV index pretty much off the charts right now. One of the things humidity does, it causes a little bit of haze, and it does help filter out some of the UV light. But when you have dry air like this, you actually have a higher chance of getting sunburned much quicker. So make sure you're loading up on the sunscreen out there. We won't have a lot of clouds. We won't have any rain, so that dry weather also contributes to that. So spending time outside will be pleasant, but just make sure you have the sunscreen. The mornings and evenings will be absolutely fabulous. All the rain will be off to the west. We're actually going to get pretty dry around here. This time of year, it doesn't take long to dry out because everything's using moisture right now. Your grass, plants, flowers, everything in your yard, the trees, and you also have high evaporation rates. So things dry out fairly quickly here. And by the end of the week, you're going to probably need some water for your lawns and gardens. Your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast shows how dry this week is until about Sunday, Mondays, when we start to see scattered showers. But also notice the temperatures only around 80 degrees. Our average high continues to go up. But for the next 10 days, we'll actually have a nice little break before we get back to the mid 80s by next week. And some of those morning lows are going to be fabulous in the mid to upper 50s.
Very nice. Brad, thank you so much.